You know you've come far when your rivalry games become your cupcake opponents. And that's something to say as we start on the road, going to Bowling Green for the Anniversary Award. Number 19, Kent State, looks to continue their perfect start while racking up rivalry wins. Just after we get through one game, we'll be getting into the Wagon Wheel game as well. Now, as for our first opponent in Bowling Green, they've only played one game this season against an FCS West opponent. Now, we all know about Cameron Dyer. We've faced him at least 2 seasons in a row. He had a really good start, 3 touchdowns, about 200 passing. On top of that, he also ran the ball for about an extra 50 yards. They do have a new running back in Marquise Williams, and their leading receiver was Caleb Goodlow, a 69 overall senior. But expect them to get Marquise Williams involved in the passing game just as heavily. Watch out for number 31, receiver Matt Banks, who did have a touchdown in their opening game. But outside of Dyer, their biggest weapon is Isaiah White, the senior nose tackle. And in his first game transferring to Bowling Green, he led them in tackles, TFLs, and sacks, accounting for half the team's total. As for our second opponent in Akron, they also played an FCS team, this time out of the East, in their opening game, 28-14. Team captain and senior quarterback Johnny Brookhart had 2 touchdowns, though he did not have over 50% complete. But when you're handing the ball off 21 times to Xavier Gayton, running for about 5 yards a pop, and you can scramble around a little bit, you don't need that passing game. But when you are going to look to pass, seems like they go to Jean-Louis III with 2 touchdowns in that game. But before we meet up with them, they will face Wyoming, and we'll see if they head into the Wagon Wheel 2-0. But as we head to Bowling Green, we will also look to stay perfect despite that target on our back as this rivalry game is underway. And it's not only just that rivalry game that has the target on our back, but obviously we moved up to the Big 12 in the last offseason. Meanwhile, Bowling Green staying down in the MAC. And while historically the Falcons have very much had a strong hold on this rivalry, with 3 straight wins, Coach Ty looks to make it 4 straight wins, flipping the modern script. As Dyer, with all the time here, eventually unloads. And frankly, just not on the same page with his receiver. Now Coach Ty does want to see a bit more here from the rush, as it does take away the fake handoff. Dyer, though, scrambling out, will pick up the first. A gain of 14 for QB1 here of the Falcons. And we've seen some great games from him in the past. Williams looks to get outside, but Walker tracks him. At this point in both these teams' developments, we need to show that we are by far the better team, and that is taking away both Dyer and their running options. As Dyer scrambles out, Walker collapses down on it. Late whistle might count as a sack as well for Walker. They'll just continue his hot start this season. The transfer senior back filling in well here for Coach Ty, though the coverage has been questionable. The freshman in Zyman has to come over to clean it up. That time, Key Crowell gave up the play on the outside, and it is rough here for the DBs as yet again Dyer picks out his target. And that's why Coach Ty is going to rely so much on these linebackers and the front 4 to get pressure early. The coverage, frankly, is not going to hold up. As Walker comes on the blitz, though Dyer still has time. Dylan Talley over on the sideline with a 13-yard catch. As I'm set up with a direct snap to Williams, right into Nelson. A great job there from the DT, keeping his head on a swivel. Getting that stop, it's a loss of 2. Bowling Green trying to get a little fancy here. It's RPO, and Williams with perfect blocking in front caps off a great drive here from the Falcons. They march down the field, big hits in the passing game, and it is the run that caps them off, taking an early lead. And the secondary got attacked more of that drive than we had seen in any of the either 2 games to start this season. So as it sends out the offense, highlighting Ivan Carrion, he had his best game yet in a Kent State uniform. Hopefully, he'll continue to build off of it. as Kelsey just looks to get north as he's headed right down center field to the opposite near 40-yard line. And of all the players on this team, he's the one we are very familiar with. Nothing new from Mason Kelsey, just pure dominant play in this triple option look as they do go Yazzie to follow. He had a really good previous game as well, about 70 yards on 10 carries. The gain of 4, his first carry, leaves 2nd and 6. A short motion Dupree into the backfield. Play action, roll, throws, and through the hands of Carrion. If you're going to be a top receiver, those are plays you've got to make. 3rd and 6. The Bells had told here. They set up a little bit of some RPO. It's to Katula outside and cannot break by the open field tackler. But he had his first touchdown in a Kent State uniform last game. Looking to build off of that. He gives us a fresh set of downs to work with. A little bit more RPO. This time it's passed outside. Dupree, as he runs through 3 defenders. Got us excited. He might go ahead and make his way by the 4th and find the end zone, but we'll take the gain of 8. 2nd and 2. Triple option. Kelsey will have it down to the 5. There's so many different options defenses have to cover. The weak link clearly is still the defense, though, of Kent State. Their offense playing mighty well here out the gate. Passes outside to Hassman. He's shook by one, but couldn't get by Judson. Forcing the 2nd and goal just inside the 4. They go with a power run here. Yazzie will go untouched. It's a rushing touchdowns for both parties in this one that has this game kicked off. 7-7. Still with about 2 minutes to play here in the first quarter. Kent State with a good answering drive. And jumping forward, we would get into the second quarter with an interception from Zayden Walker. We talked about needing these linebackers to step up and help out the DBs. Well, that is a great turnover forced here. With 8:31 to go here in the second quarter, it is going to be play action. With a dump off to the flat, Dupree will pick up 7. Now, he was one that in their last game did not get very many targets, despite arguably needing to have gotten some of those targets. So we'll see how much that changes in this game. Triple option goes to Yazzie out late. He's got a corner to the end zone. 2 touchdowns for Jimmy Yazzie, the new transfer running back, and we'll see if he could have just as much success this year as the running backs in the past have with Coach Ty. Kent State takes the lead. We're going to see if this defense can get a stop outside of the turnover, just a straight stop them before they convert a first down. Dyer here throws right side. He's got his tight end, and that will be a conversion on 3rd down with Bobby Ellington a bit shaken up, the only returning defensive lineman. So that'll bring out Burgess. Mevis has also taken the field here instead of Blackwell, the transfer edge rusher, as he got banged up on that previous touchdown of Bowling Green. A bad angle there from the freshman. Lyman has been such a good tackler here for us early this season, but that one definitely was a miss. Speed option, looking to get outside. Jackson to beat, who will catch up and with help force him out. Once again, we are not seeing anything good here from the defense. Giving up a 1st and goal. It's a handoff down the middle. Shaken but not baking by. The defense will then force that 2nd and goal. Good news for this defense, though. Bobby Ellington is back out on that field. Getting involved, though. Nelson gets there first. He saw a little bit of playing time last year. Now a primary starter. Trying to help get a stop here. Down by the goal line, or Chabera will do it himself. Blew up the blocking and blew up the screen. Falcons settle for the field goal, keeping this a 1-score ball game. But they could quickly turn this one around entirely as Mason Kelsey throws an interception the following drive. And outside of our own interception, it's not like this defense has done a great job of keeping them away from getting points. So Dyer now back in control at the 24. And a great block from his receiver almost sets up the first down scamper. We're definitely seeing a far heavier focus on the quarterback running with Dyer than we have in some of the past seasons. Perhaps coaching change having something to do with that as Dyer breaks through the tackles and he will not be stopped. Falcons have taken the lead here at home, facing their rival in Kent State. The anniversary award might not be the blowout we were hoping for. And for Mason Kelce, it's a rare mistake that opened that door for the 17-14 lead. Now he's got to make up for it on this drive. Getting back to that triple option, does get it out just in time. Jimmy Yazzie will get himself out of bounds at the 42. Now it does only pause the clock for a moment as they get reset outside the 2-minute warning. It's back to Yazzie with limited space down the middle. They do look to go hurry up though from there. Everyone back to the line rather quickly. And Dupree going to go all the way around in motion here. They will flip it out to him in the flats. Taking on the defender. He forgot how to run through somebody. And instead, we take 3rd and 6 at the 2-minute break here. 2 options to the left-hand side for Kelce. 1 to the right. Haven't seen Ivan Carrion. Should have been an offside penalty, though none given. And he finds Hassman over the middle for the first down. They will look to build off of that rather quickly. Obviously now inside the 2-minute mark. Time does stop after each first down gain to reset. Passes downfield. Catullo is space. Can't tiptoe the sideline. That's one you're going to wish you got back. Though still a big play here for Kent State. They are plus side. Facing the pressure this time, and Yazzie's going down. A loss of 7 on the stop. Making it 2nd and 17, now back at the 31. Pistol set, strong eye here for Kelce. Looking to find somewhere to go. And he's going to have to bail outside. Will get the space he needs. Cuts inside the block, and there goes Mason Kelce to the end zone. Ball just inside the pylon. Chase down in the backfield, turn, touchdown run. And took care of that drive in just about a minute. So if the defense could just do their job, we might be able to separate. But 1 minute, 7 seconds remain for Dyer, who's had a fantastic game. They start with Williams, who slips through the first 2 levels. A big run to start here for the Falcons. They'll make sure to try to capitalize, calling their first timeout. 6 seconds ran off the clock there. They're up to the 39-yard line. Walker coming on the blitz, sets up 2 different options for the sack. Nelson got back there, but they're going to credit Chabera as being the primary sacker on that one. Second timeout call for Bowling Green. They'll have just under a minute to work with here. The 2nd and 13. Dyer throws over the middle and caught. But it will be just short of the first down marker. 3rd and 1, they go hurry up, saving that timeout. Facing the blitz, it is picked up well. The Walker will not be contained for long. Slicing through that offensive line and sending us to halftime. A good stand there at the end for the defense, 21-17. Though this game is a lot closer than what you would want if you are a Kent State fan here or following along with Coach Ty. Bowling Green is shredding their defense through the air, and they've had some really good runs. Dyer, we know, is a big threat. Mason Kelce is leading the offense for Kent State to make sure they stay on top, of which they currently are, 21-17. Got to tune up that defense, because you never know. One good stop from Bowling Green, and that could flip this game, just like we saw with that interception earlier in the first half. But for the Falcons, their biggest problem might just be the fact that it is Mason Kelce in that offense taking the field to kick off the second half. Already up by 4. They had a beat there on Dupree. Pitch goes out to Yazzie. He shakes by 1, but cannot get by everyone else. No gain on the triple option for Kent State. They're pretty good at least picking up a yard per attempt. Throw is high and broken up to Catullo. This is what we're talking about there at the halftime break. A good stop here from Bowling Green really could flip how this game rolls. The 3rd and 10. Little pump fake outside, and they had Catullo, but the pass does not come out cleanly. And for Bowling Green, that is the start. Not only you want it, but you need it to make sure you can find a way to get yourself back in front, as they have definitely driven the ball down the field quite often today. Running back motions out to the flat. Quick pressure, Bobby Ellington Whatever ailment he suffered in the first half did not seem to bother him on that play. He picks up the 8-yard sack. And this defense has racked up some good pressure in this game. They need more of it to help out their secondary. As Dyer has to find somewhere to go here. The pressure bearing down. He gets rid of it. A great start to the second half for both defenses. Now, Kent State, they got to finish strong here. 3rd and 18. 3 options over to the left-hand side. Dyer, though, waits for them to all cross and throws almost for the first. Just shy. But that offense is going nowhere here for the Falcons. In a rivalry game like this, you got to give it your all each and every opportunity you've got. Dyer with the first down. Zyman eventually chases him down from behind. Front 7 sold out on the double A gap blitz, and a great job there from the Falcons picking up their blocks. Leaves a 1st and 10 now, plus side at the 38. As they freeze the linebackers, handing this one off to Williams. He will find some space down the middle, though Bobby Ellington a bit shaken up on that play. And once again, he'll make his way over to the sideline. Burgess will check back in, and once again, hopefully we see him rejoin this field at some point today. Williams, though, with space as they attack right back down the middle. That is a note to Coach Ty saying that we are going to attack your weak link, and right now, it's the defense almost entirely as a whole. Outside of Walker. Another tremendous play from the thumper linebacker. 2nd and 1. He picks up another TFL. Trying to keep Bowling Green out of the end zone. Burgess will get the sack. Flag down on the play. We'll have to see what Coach Ty decides to do here, down or yardage. As he accepts that penalty, looks like he's going with yardage. Perhaps trying to get the Falcons outside of field goal range as their running back Williams motions out. Quite a few targets for him early on, and they go straight to him on a screen. Great job, Burgess. They might have taken away his sack, but he picks up a great TFL there and forces a 3rd and now 21. 2 spread either side, and the quick throws outside. They go for yardage as well, trying to set up a field goal attempt. John Chavis from the left side. This one will be about a 44-yarder. And that kick is up, and he's got it, no problem. Right into the waiting hands of the All-State logo. And for Coach Ty, he looks to be pleased with his defense, giving up just the field goal, but not still where you want them to be, especially at the level they are now playing at. Triple option here, and Mason Kelsey will take it again right up the middle. Could have been another play with the option to Dupree, but Kelsey just doesn't seemingly like to go that way. As he steps up here, he's going to use his receivers as blockers, weaving through the defense all the way down to the 33-yard line. Mason Kelsey on 7 rushes, a $119. Now that's some sacrifice of some of his receivers being able to make a play or two, because there was a couple options on that last play, but not going to argue against the gain. Open this time, Ivan Carrion adjusted to the throw, and he will have the touchdown, re-widening that lead. Kent State currently up by 7 pre-PAT. Do you consider going for 2 here, make it a 2-score game? And if we know Coach Ty, that's exactly what he's going to do here. Offense stays on the field. 3:04 to go here in the 3rd. Petula in motion all the way across and flip it to him outside where he is wide open. A 9-point ball game here could be key. That's only if this defense doesn't allow quick plays. Already giving up about 23 on the first play. Has them around midfield. Another good block here from their receiving game. Awkward tackle there on Dyer. Didn't look like Rollison grabbed him in a manner that caused him to flip, but he does flip, and he gets the free play here for Williams. It's a handoff. Simon with the tackle. They'll probably look to decline this penalty. But it was Marquise Chabera getting a little aggressive on that one. They will look to go with the 1st and 10 down to the 33, and Williams getting outside with an escort. Simon wants a beat. Gotta feel pretty lucky he had a teammate coming from the backside to get that stop. Otherwise, we're looking at a touchdown there, and Williams stuffed the following play. First time we get to call Cam Mevis's name. He makes the stop with a TFL. 2nd and goal now back at the 4. They go back to Zyman. He's involved, but the legs just kept on chugging. Nate Shepard not only dragged 1, but 3 Kent State players across that goal line. What a run from the senior. At some point, if you're Kent State, not a full season removed from the MAC, but you've got to find a way to separate. Looks like that's going to start with more triple option here from Mason Kelsey, getting down at the 40. And with the time almost running out here, hard count, Kelsey, he'll get a free 5. A cheeky move here, expecting to send this one to the 4th. Well, the clock will still run post-penalty, then taking us to the 4th. That's just a little note. Maybe even for the defense of Kent State. Mason Kelsey is sick of seeing his team just get shredded out there and having to do so much on offense to try to keep up and maintain their lead in this one, especially against a rival. So as we hit the 4th, expect Mason Kelsey to try to take full control of this game for Kent State. As it starts with the offense here, it's Yazzie. He's also chugging those feet. And he'll have the offense close to yet another first down. The 2nd and 1. Kelsey barking out a few calls there. 3 hands down in the backfield. They snap it with a second to go on that play clock. Yazzie with a first down run to the 45. As expected, Kelsey has them going slow-mo in between these plays. Play clock down inside 5. Every snap we've seen for the last few. To that triple option game. Kelsey, he's just going to get north here and then flip it to Yazzie late, who accelerates outside with a good run, has Kent State down to the 20. They're getting the sophomore running back well mixed in here to this offense. They've had a lot of seniors or they've had running backs transfer. They haven't had a 2-year starter at that position. Coach Ty hopes that Yazzie is the change in that with a lofted throw just too short for Lupke. The true freshman nearly found his first touchdown. Instead, 2nd and 10 as they go back to the running game. Yazzie spins off a tackle and finds a few. And does, though, still leave Kent State behind the chains. And the Falcons letting them know. Fans getting into it. Bells tolling and a lot of early movement here on the hard count for Mason Kelsey. Looks like they are going to get the Falcons, causing the offense to jump. And that falls right into the hands then of Mason Kelsey, setting up a 3rd and 3 here instead. Far more manageable. Inside 6 minutes to play. Triple option. Mason Kelsey, spin and in. Once again, a 2-score lead here for Kent State. Now they need their defense to finally come through with a stop. Now you do have to give some leeway perhaps to the front 4, missing 2 starters. But outside of that, everyone else is the starter here for Kent State. And already a first down allowed. Dyer has a $155 through the air, a touchdown passing. I'm pretty sure a touchdown running there as well. He's seen a lot of success running the ball, just about as much as Mason Kelsey. But Zyman gets his first career interception plus the spin move. What a play for the true freshman starting at safety. Kent State has not gotten many turnovers since Coach Ty took over here. That could be a big sign of things to come. Hopefully for Derek Zyman, that's just one of many more that we will get to see. We take over at the 25. 3 hands down in the backfield. Kelsey hands this one off, and Yazzie can't quite squeeze through. Dorian Pringle with a great job crashing down, coming from that linebacker spot. That actually goes as a loss of 1 as they stick with the heavier set. Now it's Dupree down the middle, falling forward. And then a similar spot to where they were in their previous drive. 3rd and 8, though, this time not quite inside the red zone. Hard count, no one offers at it. They go back to that play action. Hopefully something opens up here for Kelsey. As he looks downfield, nothing quite does. Takes on the contact, but has the first. Not a man to shy away by any means. Keeps this drive alive and lets that clock continue to melt down against the Falcons. Dupree, no luck. The Falcons will call a timeout following that quick stop. They'll have 2 more remaining plus the 2-minute warning. They keep with the same look here. Kelsey, though, dropping back. Lets this play develop. Tosses it outside, and a beautiful ball it is. Finds Jimmy Yazzie. That might be his 3rd touchdown of the game, I believe. 2 rushing, now 1 receiving. We'll have to double check the stats. But a great game here from Jimmy Yazzie nonetheless. And a beautiful toss coming in from Mason Kelsey. And indeed, I can confirm it's a trifecta for Yazzies. The defense just needs one more stop to put this game away. But they're not going to get that pass breakup. It was a good job to at least be in the right spot. Now they just need to take it to that next level and punch a ball free every now and then would be great. Pass over the middle and will go as a gain of about 6. We'll give credit once again to Dyer. He has shredded our defense. We've seen him do it way too often, but Walker has also had a big impact on this game. He picks up not only another sack for him, but the 5th sack as a team. They came into this game averaging just 1.5 sacks a game. Answering what Coach Ty was asking from. A lot more plays made in the backfield. Now they need it in the secondary. Zyman, who had a pick on that previous drive, might have been the one to give that one up. Looked like it was cover 2 and just didn't play exactly where he needed to on the outside. Robinson with the pass breakup, though, the other safety. Perhaps he's learned a thing or two sitting behind the last couple of seasons. 2nd and 10. Passes underneath, and they'll have it close. Banks credited with about 9.5 yards there. Leaves 3rd and 1. Unloading for Banks as Rollison got beat badly on that one. I don't even know if that was press coverage, but he just simply ran by and to the end zone. Now currently this is a 10-point ball game here. If you have any shot at making a comeback, you've got to make this an 8-point ball game. As they will go for 2. Williams upended by Snead. And that'll force out the hands team. Onside goes to Hassman. He plucks it out of the air with one hand. But with that pluck, we will walk out of here with a win. 43-33. It's not exactly how you hope this game would go, but Mason Kelsey and Jimmy Yazzie, they put on quite a performance on offense. It was the defense that didn't quite live up to expectations, but they'll have another rivalry against Akron to show what they can do. And Coach Ty is probably going to come down pretty hard on them if they can't get the job done. But for now, we celebrate our 4th straight anniversary award. And Walker will bring home another Big 12 Defensive Player of the Week award. He is racking these up early this season, rightfully so. And we're going to look to roll that defensive momentum straight into the second game against Akron. They're a 65 overall program against our 79 overall. We struggled on defense. Let's put up a good defensive showing at home for the Wagon Wheel. And of course, we're looking to keep that perfect streak rolling. Akron did lose their game against Wyoming. As we are underway here for the Wagon Wheel, Hills returns and will be chopped out about the 20-yard line, sending out our defense. Now, talk about momentum. Akron holds the momentum in all time between these two teams, and they're on a 3-game win streak here. We have not faced Akron since season 1. It'll be a great time for us to show up as they go to Gaten out the backfield, and a good flow from the defense. Derek Jackson at that slot corner spot does crash on it well. Blackwell has returned for this game. Hopefully we'll see some better play from the edge as Chabera. Good fill. Kenneth McManus, the 4th, injured though for Akron on the play. We'll see how much missing one of their starters up front will affect him in this one. Brookhart has had a good start to the season. Now down one of his starters and facing the blitz here, though he has time. Slightly panics, throws late and just short. Nearly a great adjustment to that pass. But it does send out Mason Kelsey as we take over at the 41. This offense has played very well this year. Though matching the triple option pretty well, Kelsey still picks up 2. Clearly the defender, though, watching tape, he read that one from the snap. A little bit of some RPO option here. Will get it to the outside. Katula rolling through the defender. For Akron, they would love a chance to get the stop right here. 3rd and 4, about the midfield line. Hard count, this will be the free play. Quick flip that one outside. Dropping into Hassman. He's by the numbers and he is gone. Never mind your penalty. Kent State will not need it. They get the touchdown on 3rd and 4. Harry Hassman going the distance. That'll give Kent State an early chance here to take a stronghold on this game. The defense having another 3rd down here. 3rd and 7 this time. Brookhart is on the mark. And for the first time today, Akron is plus side. As they do go a little bit of some play action. Looking to go downfield. Brookhart trying to buy some time here. Flipping those hips back and forth. And Chabera is going to pick up a massive sack. Loss of 13 yards. Brookhart just keeps bailing backwards. Now with the defensive ends doing a great job of maintaining contain, there's nowhere for him to go. So back to the 50. Quick throw is going to be a big gain. They're going to pick up all that lost yardage and more with a huge block. Akron with an amazing play on a 2nd and forever. They go underneath, but it's the deep receiver who makes arguably the biggest impact, crashing down, taking out 4 defenders. And the woes of the Kent State secondary just continue to stack up. The offense once again is going to have to make sure they keep themselves in control of this one. With a late pitch, Kelsey just gave it right to Garvin, who read that play, did exactly what you're supposed to. And I think the commentator curse strikes yet again. It's going to be a touchdown for Akron, when that one should have been at most a fake pitch from Kelsey. For the quarterback who only had just about a handful of turnovers all of last season, has had a turnover in back-to-back weeks. He's got to find a way to clean that up here, as now he's got all the space. Kelsey's going to try to clean it up perhaps in all of one play. Breaks it to the outside. Mason Kelsey is gone. And indeed, he will clean it up in just one play. Running the same play. They just ran it to the opposite side. And Kelsey goes the distance to level this game. That's at least one thing we've learned from the man. He will make up from his mistakes. Now we need the defense to learn that same lesson as they give up a big run here. Guyton play 1. In total, mark that. Gain of 9. Not exactly what you want to give up. A really good start for an offensive drive. Let's go right back to Guyton this time. Shorter run, but a first down. Despite all the transfers with Blackwell, Chabera, all the different linebackers, not exactly seeing some consistency. They haven't played together for extremely long, so that could be a reason why. As Jackson cannot keep up, he tracks back to get the touchdown saving tackle. But Brandon Hills all the way down inside the 5. The secondary lacks some speed. They're lacking coverage ability right now with a big hit Robinson. Normally runners, they light up when they see that they've just got a DB to beat. Well, the DB beat him pretty hard there. Back to it. This time he slips the DB in Jackson, who gave up the big pass to get him down here. And Akron, just like that, has retaken the lead. For Coach Ty, this is honestly very concerning. You're supposed to be a Power 4 program, but right now your defense has been shredded back-to-back weeks by Group of 6 conference opponents. They've got to find a way to make things a little bit better, as Katula will chime in on offense with a deep ball rolling against the throwing motion. It was not a smart decision by any means from Mason Kelsey. We know he risks it for the biscuit. The biscuit that time very much helped him out, as they do snap that ball just before the quarter break. Kelsey sticks that foot in the ground. He'll pick up 5 and will send us to the quarter break. Offense having to pull out some amazing plays here to keep themselves afloat, though currently trailing Akron at the end of the first quarter. Johnny Brookhart, pretty good passing himself, couple good runs in the mix, and has them in front 21-14. I'm sure Coach Ty gave some words of wisdom, if you will, to the defense during that break. But right now it's the offense still on out there. Jimmy Yazzie with the carry. In total, looking at about 3 on the play, leaving 3rd and 2 with Dupree weak side. And they do still go with that triple option to the outside. They just like to play outside. Dupree has not gotten these handoffs. Now, he is the senior running back of this group, but you got to wonder some of the running backs behind if they're seeing that out there in a similar type role. If they're questioning their choice of sticking around here. Ivan carrying big fella out in space with an awful angle from Hunter. It'll be Ivan carrying untouched to the end zone, and he's not a hard man to miss. 6'6", pretty hefty weight, but he runs pretty fast as we saw it on display there, speeding by the secondary. On the RPO, Ivan carrying once again tying up this game. The offense has to keep answering for the defense. But following that touchdown, we'll jump ahead a little bit. Midway through the second quarter, defense did pick up a stop, but now it's 4th and 3. The offense staying on the field. Under pressure, but once again, he's finding Ivan carrying downfield. Almost a clean hurdle. If he did, he might have been gone on back-to-back showings here. And who knows, perhaps if he was 6'3", he might have been able to get over that defender clean, but we'll take it down to the 16. Jimmy Yazzie, he looks to extend this play outside. Spinning forward, the reach is not enough. That is some harsh words for a gain of 9.5. Almost 10 full yards there. Now Bailey checks in here as some true fullback action and almost had the touchdown. Dupree still not getting his number called out there, but does return to the fullback role here for 1st and goal. And Dupree this time will have it. Coach Ty gives a little something to the power back. Finally getting the handoff. He capitalizes and pulls Kent State in front. And moving into the waning minutes here of the first half, it's going to be up to the defense to make sure that that stays the case. Hills returns from inside the 5 with a spin move. He finds a gap. He's got some speed. Brandon Hills down the sideline, breaks the tackle of Armin Hayes and will not get caught. Never mind the defense having to make sure that this stays a lead. The special teams gives it up. And perhaps what we're seeing is the poor recruiting, great transfers for Coach Ty. But the high school recruits haven't always been the best here for Kent State. A lot of the best ones have moved. And the one area they haven't addressed with the transfers is the DB group. Special teams are for the young players. That's the two areas seemingly struggling against some lesser competition. That does leave the offense once again needing to answer for it here. And with 2 straight runs, it's a 3rd and 1 here. We do go right back to Yazzie. Stood up, and they're actually going to say a loss of about 1 on the play. Jamal Rabin, though, a bit shaken up for Akron. He'll make his way to the sideline, leaving a 4th and 2. And while you would expect a punt here inside your own 30, the offense is staying out there. For Coach Ty, seems like he doesn't quite trust the defense to make the play. So the offense is just going to have to keep making the plays with a big 4th down conversion. As we hit the 2-minute break, guess that's just going to be the way these games are going to have to pan out this year. Very Big 12 here of Coach Ty. As Mason just gets that pass off. Good blocking, almost, I would say, great blocking. You missed a key one. That doesn't mean much to Yazzie, who just destroyed the man instead with a stiff arm. 1st and 10 plus side here. As they set up a little bit more RPO passing. Yazzie with the handoff. He takes it for 9. And in the running back, a bit more involved here on this drive. Bunch out to the right side. Man coverage by the looks of it here. So Yazzie will pick up the 1st down. Not much extra on that run, but it got the job done. And Kent State will look to go hurry up off of it. A little bit of some play action. Pass over the middle. That's Harris for the touchdown. They bring out 4 receivers. A rare look here for this offense. Primarily a lot of 1 tight end, 1 fullback, 1 running back, maybe 2 receivers. Occasionally bring out the 2nd tight end. Wide receiver 4 comes on out, and he scores the big play. Now that does leave you in a similar spot to where they were just in their last game against Bowling Green. You took that lead about a minute before halftime. Can you hold on to it? Brookhart facing the pressure. He gets it out cleanly. Brandon Hills headed downfield, and a big hit there from Zyman flattens him. Of course, Brandon Hills had the previous touchdown for Akron on special teams. Gets about 25 yards, play 1 to take him to the midfield line. 2 timeouts remain for Brookhart and Akron. As he bails outside, looks like there might have been a little bit of holding, but the only yellow on the field is Kent State as Brookhart gets rid of it. So a 2nd and 10 then, stopping the clock as well. Pretty smart for the quarterback here, the senior of Akron. He's trying to extend that win streak to 4 for the Wagon Wheel, just like we have the game of 4 for the anniversary award. Lofted throw is on the money, and he also got out of bounds. Nearly able to pull him back inside, but does stop the clock. Handing this one off, Gayton down the middle will have another chunk. All right, now this defense just in general looks lost out there. Have not seen the impact up front like we did against the Falcons. The quick throw outside, Zyman gets stiff-armed. Walker, though, will help him out. Getting the stop, but a first down is given up. 25 seconds to work with. Akron does have a timeout in their back pocket. And coming back for that one will be a catch, though not a first down, so that clock will roll. It was not given forward progress from where he caught that ball. It was given forward progress to where his feet landed after catching it by the looks of things. So wasting some time here. And passes over the middle. It's caught for the first, timeout called. And ultimately, they'll have to settle for the field goal attempt. Right hash, about 31-yarder. Doinks off the upright and no good. Kent State's defense helped out by the field goal post and sends the Wagon Wheel rivalry to halftime. Kent State in front by a touchdown, but it could have very easily just been 4 points and frankly could have been tied. Akron and Bowling Green has brought it to their rival, who has moved up to Power 4, currently ranked 17th in the country. Well, with what you've seen from their defense, frankly doesn't look like it. Their offense looks potentially top 10, but ultimately you got to have both sides come together, and on top of that, you got to have special teams show up. But thanks to that goal post, Kent State does stay in charge, up by 7, as we look to get the second half underway. A little bit hazy here in Kent, but the offense is on the field. Back to that triple option. It's out quick to Yazzie, but the speed from 10. McKinstry making all the play there. Took away Kelsey's ability to run it, and then also tackled Yazzie. He only picks up about a gain of 1. And that pass is going to fall incomplete. Looked like Kelsey wanted Katula over the middle, but the pressure arrived just in time. Forcing a 3rd and 9, looking pretty familiar to last week. Going back to Katula, this time he catches it. That's the same play they ran as well against Bowling Green in the same situation. 3rd and long coming out of halftime. And he also tried to find Katula last week. This time it finally pans out. Throws downfield. Not too tall for the 6'6" receiver. Somehow he brought that in. Earlier his height cost him as he tried to hurdle a defender. That time, if he was any shorter, that is not a catch. 1st and 10 here. Yazzie's down the middle. All in all, call that a gain of 4 to the 28-yard line. Dupree, he's going to come in motion here back into the backfield. They do go play action. And chucking this one downfield. It's picked off, intended for Carrion. Hunter just plucked it out of the air. And going from bad to worse, Nair Daniels starting tackle here for Kent State, injured on the play. So in just 2 games, it's 3 turnovers for Mason Kelsey. Not what you want to see from your leader here, as that play's not going to get you a positive yard. In fact, I believe if you went with a receiver downfield, you would have had a good chunk. 2nd and 11, and Brookhart is going to be ripped down. Zayden Walker with the big play in the backfield. We need more of that from him. A 3rd and 14 here. Gotta get off the field. Passes over the middle, but converted. Just not seeing enough here from the secondary. Speed has definitely been a problem, but at some point you got to wonder if it's just pure coverage, ability, awareness, play recognition from these new starters. Burkhart taking his time here, giving his offense a bit of a breather. Still finding his targets. The senior quarterback playing a smart game out there as well. Outside of a couple scrambles backward, he has really done a great job reading the defense and getting that ball out. At some point, you just got to make sure you keep getting that rush. That's been your saving grace as they bring 6. Bobby Ellington gets the TFL, about a loss of 1. Akron, though, is going to get to the line quickly. They go back to it, and Chabera from behind. That's a great last 2 plays, but you got to finish strong here. That's been the problem of this defense. Tossing it outside. Zyman juked out. And it's going to be a big run here from Gayton. Good job from the safety to flow out there. You just got to settle those hips and make sure you get that stop. Brookhart has him set up. 1st and 10 here. And looking downfield, there's not a single defender anywhere close to a man wearing 57. Sure hope he told the referees that, hey, he's eligible, because they didn't tell us. And he just scored the touchdown. 35-35. But you got to give massive props here to Akron. They got the turnover in the end zone, and then they made it to the opposite end zone, tying this game. If you're Kent State, no more turnovers here. You got to play clean. Would have liked a block there from Kelsey. As the quarterback, you understand why he doesn't, but that could have set Yazzie free. Instead, they just get a gain of 5. With more space here, 2nd and 5. He'll take it by the 45. With 19 carries, 90 yards for the sophomore back. One of his more heavier workloads despite less yards per carry. They go right back to him. Spin move has him by the safety stepping down. Pretty sure that was the same man who picked the ball off last time in Azure. 2nd and 2. Kelsey checking the sideline here. They're also letting that clock run. They're trying to manage this game as best as they can. As Kelsey flips his hips, he throws, broken up. Trying to find his running back there late. Great job from Akron to not get confused in the scramble drill. And make sure you stay with your man. Forcing that 3rd down here. It's Dupree. Short. Looked like he had it, and even playing at home here, you'd imagine they'd give him that spot, but no. 4th and inches. It's going to be Kelsey, though, on just a direct run right down the middle. There's no tush pushing around here. It's just get your blocks, and Kelsey's going to run with whatever space you provide. The 1st and 10 plus side, and flip it out quick. Ivan Carrion, he turns the corner. 20, 10, a little bit slower, but it's still a touchdown. We might be a little used to Tank Hawkins of last year on that play. He'll go from the 50 to the end zone in the blink of an eye. Ivan Carrion still gets the job done on a touchdown via the RPO. They got the big man out in space, and he has plenty of speed, plenty of acceleration. He gets away from President and once again puts us back in charge. And for the defense, they'll have a great opportunity. A 3rd down here to get off the field just a couple plays later, and they converge. A touchdown and a defensive stop is exactly how you want to end that 3rd quarter. Sending yourselves to the 4th. This is time for Mason Kelsey and the offense to milk that clock. Do not give Akron any more chances in this game. And perhaps it might also be a great time to see some of these other running backs. Yazzie already at about 19 carries. They do go his way here, play 1, and he is stood up with an injury up front. That is the new starting guard on the left-hand side. Now, we've already seen a couple other players get injured. Stray's out there at right tackle, as we did have an injury there. Lee did return, though, so a little bit of some mix here. As it's triple option this time, Yazzie with all the space outside. Cutting back in, but unable to get by the last Akron defender. That has him by $125 on the day on his 22nd carry. We'll see how much longer he stays in as the primary back. Kelsey gets a big block there from his fullback to the outside. He lowers that shoulder. Good run of 9 there. Not shying away. He's over 100 on the ground as well. As they do snap that ball here. Triple option, though, going backwards to Dupree. He's got the speed, though, to hit it outside. Getting the big man a carry. He's down inside the 15. They haven't called that play all too often. Works out for him this time. The 1st and 10. And that ball comes out very late. Still somehow makes its way to Martin. I don't know if that's going to be a pass or a run. Either way, it is a gain of 2 there for Martin. And it does look like Kelsey's going to get a slight breather. He goes to the outside here as Yazzie, primary quarterback, as he takes the option play left side, and he's got another solid game. Clearly, Coach Ty, he's trying to confuse Akron here late with some mental errors. 3rd and 3. That ball's into the turf, not backwards. Would have loved a touchdown here, but you do milk some clock, and you could still make this a 2-score game. And that one is right down the middle. Good kick from Curtis. Your defense will have another chance to continue what they did last time, getting a quick 3 and out with a 3rd and 9 here. It's empty set for Akron. They could very well go for it on 4th down if they need it, stepping out of bounds. That could come back to bite him. He had the space for the first. Instead, it's 4th and 3. 4-3 defense out on that field, and wide open is the tight end, getting by the ankle grab. So Akron's not going anywhere yet, keeping themselves in this game. 1st and 10 at the 35. They're trailing by 10 inside 4.5 minutes, and Brookhart has taken his time here to get his offense set up. As they do throw outside, I guess they thought Fletcher wasn't a live player, but he's going to go to the end zone. He lined up on the hashes, and he runs all the way down the hashes. Just like that, Akron within a field goal with the point after here of tying this game. Now, they do not elect to go with an onside at this point with 4:11 to play. They have all their timeouts, so it's going to be up to the offense to just milk that clock. That's going to be stopping Yazzie as they do a good job there. Only a gain of 2. Leaves 2nd and 8. Hard count, no one offers at it. Will be thrown here to Coates. His first catch, perhaps of the entire day. That leaves Kent State still needing to find a couple more yards here for the first down. Now Kelsey is checking that sideline to get the call from Coach. Hard count and getting a bit too aggressive. The Mike linebacker jumps off sides in Garvin. He had the touchdown on that triple option failed pitch, but he also just took away a great opportunity to end the drive. So 1st and 10, Kent State with a fresh set here at the 38. As it's Dupree, he's not going to get very far. And Akron will call one of their 3 timeouts, leaving them 2 more remaining. They're trying to keep their streak of the wagon wheel alive. Meanwhile, Kent State is trying to take it themselves for the first time in a long time. Mason Kelsey weaving through this defense. He's just been too much for the Zips to zip tie. The 1st and 10, down to the 37. Kelsey shakes one in the backfield and then quickly gets outside. He's going to turn a loss of 5 into a gain of 5. Now, he has had a couple turnovers today, but he's playing out of his mind as Akron no longer has any timeouts to use. And this time the RPO will be the handoff down the middle, given the first down. Now, I'm not too sure how accurate that is, but we'll take it as we find our way inside the 2-minute break. It's Dupree. They've got him locked up. Maybe 2 on the play. First down would seal this game, as there is going to be slight motion here. Looking to get Yazzie outside. A good block there from the tight end in Coates. Not quite enough to fully set that edge. So 3rd and 5 here. The safety checks down to nose tackle here. Trying to take on Mason Kelsey, who will find his way through. Kent State will sweep their rivals today, and they will take home the wagon wheel for the first time under Coach Ty. And while the offense very much deserves to celebrate these 2 games, the defense is about to be under strict scrutiny from not only the staff, from fans, and from football analytics everywhere. And that can start with you as well. Let me know your thoughts on this defense. Who has been the weakest link? Obviously, we know the secondary has not been very good. What decisions do we look to make from here? Right now, we are a 76 overall defense, which is higher than we have ever been, but the play is not as good as we have seen. And frankly, the cornerback groom has largely been ignored from Coach Ty. Rollison has been here since day one. He's been a starter every year, but this has been the worst he has played by far. Jackson, whenever we're in 2 receiver sets, he's out there as an outside corner, and he just does not have the speed for the position. Crowell has moved to the outside whenever we do go to 3 or 4 wide, and Jackson moves to the slot to try to help out with that coverage. But in general, there's not a whole lot of speed here at the corner spot. If we look to the safeties to potentially maybe move someone, there's not a whole lot of speed at free, and at strong, you're not going to get any better there either. So is there something we can do this year to just try to help us get by in the meantimes? Well, there's a guy like Felix Duggar. He does have 85 speed, would be slightly better than Jackson. He's 6 overall less, but the coverages are fairly balanced. Play recognition is really good, though he's going to suffer dramatically in terms of awareness. But we just might have to give some of these young guys a call out there to see what they can do. As for the defensive line, we've seen some big plays from Nelson. We've also seen some limited plays from Nelson. Now, he is a junior. He still has a year and a half of eligibility, and he can still see some improvement. But we also have a star true freshman whose number we might change if he gets that red shirt pulled, who could very well take over. Uncapped for power, uncapped for finesse, and all the other caps are extremely high. Would it be worth getting him out on that field, seeing what he could do for a couple games, and then make that decision come the make or break red shirt game? All that will be decided in these games to come, and I will use your input. So as I asked earlier, I ask again, what do you think is the biggest problem with this defense? And what changes, like we just saw, may make the biggest impact? And as we look to move forward to our next Big 12 game, make sure you don't miss it by hitting that bear icon in the bottom right or scrolling down and hitting that sub button. Completely free, just helps YouTube show you the content when it's posted. And if you are enjoying your now number 16th ranked Kent State, make sure you are prepared for each and every episode by tapping that bell icon so you're notified of when they go live. And make sure you're also leaving Mason Kelsey some love. With today's performance, he went from not even on the Heisman list to the very top. Smash that thumbs up. We got a lot of big games coming your way. And the next one will be against undefeated Kansas Jayhawks. They have to step up, as now these are the 2 lowest overall teams in the Big 12. Next episode, we'll decide who's truly at the bottom.